The Defiant stand. Captain Maya Katri stood on the bridge of the UES Phoenix, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen as stars streaked past. The experimental vessel represented humanity's greatest achievement in space technology, the first ship equipped with the revolutionary Nexus drive that could bend space-time in ways previously thought impossible. "Report status, Commander Chen," she ordered, her voice calm despite the tension coursing through her body. Commander David Chen's fingers danced across his console. "All systems nominal, Captain. The Nexus drive is operating at 98% efficiency. We've traveled further from Earth than any human vessel in history." Maya nodded. What had begun as a standard shakedown cruise beyond the Kuiper Belt had now taken them into uncharted territory. The Phoenix carried a crew of only 30 specialists, scientists, engineers, and a minimal security detail. They were explorers, not warriors. "Captain," called Lieutenant Amara Okafor from the sensor station, her voice tight. "I'm detecting anomalous energy signatures at bearing 047 Mark 198. Multiple signatures. They're appearing out of nowhere." "On screen," Maya ordered. The view screen shifted to show empty space, then suddenly flickered as massive ships began to materialize. First one, then 10, then hundreds, appearing as if reality itself was being torn open. "I count over 800 vessels," Amara reported, her voice barely above a whisper. "Various configurations, but all sharing similar design elements. The smallest is twice our size, the largest," she swallowed. "The largest is approximately the size of Earth's moon." Maya felt her blood run cold. "Are they aware of us?" "Unknown, but—" Chen began, then stopped as the ship's systems suddenly flickered. "Captain, we're being scanned. Multiple penetrating scans across all frequencies. Shields up. Yellow alert," Maya ordered. "Open a channel, all frequencies." Lieutenant Rivera at communications nodded. "Channel open, Captain." Maya straightened her uniform and faced the view screen. "This is Captain Maya Katri of the United Earth ship Phoenix. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration. Please identify yourselves." For nearly 30 seconds, there was nothing but silence. Then the view screen changed to show a being unlike anything Maya had ever seen. It appeared vaguely humanoid, but with translucent skin that revealed pulsing organs and a complex network of what looked like fiber optic cables instead of blood vessels. Its eyes, all 4 of them, were solid black and devoid of any recognizable emotion. "Human vessel," the being spoke, its voice unnaturally harmonic, as if multiple entities were speaking simultaneously. "You have violated Voidborn collective space. Your primitive vessel has been detected utilizing prohibited spacetime manipulation technology." Maya glanced quickly at Chen before responding. "We apologize for any territorial violation. We were unaware of any established boundaries in this region. We will withdraw immediately." The being's head tilted at an unsettling angle. "Withdrawal is not permitted. Your species has demonstrated unexpected technological advancement. The collective's models predicted your civilization would require another 342 standard cycles to achieve dimensional folding capability." "We're quick learners," Maya replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "Indeed, this represents a Category 5 anomaly in our development projections. The collective has determined that humanity presents an unacceptable variable in the cosmic equation." Commander Chen stepped forward. "Are you threatening us?" "Threats imply uncertainty of outcome," the being replied tonelessly. "There is no uncertainty here. Your vessel will be disassembled for analysis. Your crew will be processed for biological assessment. Your homeworld will be contained and studied before integration or dissolution." The transmission abruptly ended. "They're moving," Amara reported, her voice shaking. 3 vessels are breaking formation and approaching our position." Maya's mind raced. The Phoenix couldn't hope to outrun or outfight even one of those ships, let alone an entire armada. But there was something about the way the alien had spoken, about how humanity represented an anomaly in their predictions. "Dr. Nakamura," She called to the ship's chief scientist, who had been silently observing from his station. "What can you tell me about their technology based on those energy signatures?" The older man frowned, studying his readings. "Fascinating. They appear to be using some form of quantum entanglement for both propulsion and communication. Extremely sophisticated, but there's something peculiar about the energy pattern. It's incredibly uniform across all vessels, almost as if..." "As if what?" Maya pressed. "As if they're all connected to a central processing node," Dr. Nakamura concluded. "A hive mind, essentially. But that level of integration would require perfect synchronization across all systems." Maya turned to the ship's chief engineer. "Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, could we modify the Nexus drive to emit a targeted quantum disruption pulse?" Rodriguez stroked her chin thoughtfully. "The drive creates localized bubbles of altered space-time. In theory, we could invert the field to generate a ripple effect through the quantum foam, but it would completely drain our reserves. We'd be dead in space, Captain." "Better than being dissected," Maya muttered. "How long would you need?" 15 minutes, minimum," Rodriguez replied. Maya checked the tactical display. The 3 collective vessels would reach them in 10. "Start immediately," she ordered. "Commander Chen, auctions for buying time." Chen hesitated. "Captain, we have the prototype stealth probes. They're not weapons, but their sensor packages emit radiation across multiple spectrums. We could modify them to broadcast false Nexus drive signatures, maybe confuse their sensors." "Do it," Maya commanded. She turned to address the entire bridge crew. "Listen to me, all of you. We may be outgunned and outnumbered, but we have one advantage. They don't know humans yet. They don't know how adaptable we are, how unpredictable we can be. Let's show them exactly why we're an unacceptable variable." As the crew scrambled to implement her orders, Maya felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on her shoulders. The Phoenix wasn't just a ship now. It was humanity's first and only line of defense against a threat they never knew existed. If they failed here, Earth would never even know what hit them. The 3 collective vessels approached with unsettling precision, moving in perfect synchronization. Up close, their design became clearer. Massive obsidian structures, shaped like elongated diamonds, their surfaces rippling with energy that distorted the very starlight around them. "Launch the probes," Maya ordered. Chen complied, and a dozen small spherical objects shot from the Phoenix, scattering in different directions and immediately broadcasting modified Nexus signatures. "They're responding," Rivera reported from communications. "Their formation is breaking up." A small victory, but Maya knew it wouldn't last long. "Rodriguez, status on the drive modifications." 3 more minutes, Captain," came the strained reply. On the tactical display, one of the alien vessels had already determined that a probe wasn't the Phoenix and was redirecting toward their actual position. "Captain," Dr. Nakamura called out suddenly. "I've been analyzing their communication patterns. They're using quantum entanglement to maintain perfect synchronization across all ships. It's how they can operate as a single entity across such vast distances." "What are you thinking, Doctor?" Maya asked, recognizing the look of inspiration on the scientist's face. "If their systems are as integrated as they appear to be, then a disruption in the quantum field might create a cascading effect throughout their entire network," Nakamura explained. "It's like they've built themselves into one massive interconnected system with no fail-safes between components." Maya felt a flicker of hope. "So if we hit one ship with our modified Nexus pulse, we might disrupt their entire fleet," Nakamura finished, though his expression remained cautious. "In theory, at least." The closest collective vessel was now less than 2 minutes away. "They're scanning us," Rivera reported. "Our systems are being probed. Wait, they are attempting to access our databases." "Initiate security protocol blackout," Maya ordered. "Cut all external connections." "Too late," Rivera's voice trembled slightly. "They've already extracted data on Earth's location and defensive capabilities." Maya's blood ran cold. Even if the Phoenix somehow escaped, the collective now had everything they needed to find Earth. "Rodriguez," she called over the comm. "I need that pulse now. Whatever you've got." "It's not ready," the engineer protested. "The calibrations aren't." "We're out of time." Maya cut her off. "Execute on my mark." The alien vessel loomed larger on their view screen, its surface now visibly rippling as if in anticipation. A soft hum began to permeate the Phoenix, growing in intensity until Maya could feel it vibrating through her bones. "They're attempting to establish a tractor beam," Chen warned. "Structural integrity at risk." Maya fixed her gaze on the alien ship and made her decision. "All hands, brace for impact. Rodriguez, fire the pulse." A heartbeat of silence. Then the Phoenix shuddered violently as the modified Nexus drive released its energy. The view screen flared blindingly white, and for a moment, Maya feared they had destroyed themselves in the process. As the light faded, she saw the impossible. The collective vessel directly before them was frozen in space, its rippling surface now still and lifeless. Beyond it, throughout the vast Armada, ship after ship appeared to be similarly affected, their perfect formation dissolving into chaos. "What just happened?" Chen breathed, staring at the tactical display in disbelief. Dr. Nakamura was frantically analyzing the data streaming across his console. The pulse created a localized disruption in the quantum fields. Their entangled systems couldn't handle the paradox. "It's like we introduced a logical impossibility into their network." "Did we destroy them?" Maya asked. "No," Nakamura shook his head. "More like a forced system reset. But it won't last forever." Maya nodded grimly. "Then we need to move. Rodriguez, can we get the Nexus drive back online for a jump?" "Negative, Captain," the engineer replied. "The modifications fried the primary coils. We're on conventional drives only, and those are operating at reduced capacity." "Then that's what we'll use," Maya decided. "Plot a course deeper into collective space." "Captain," Chen questioned, startled. "They already have Earth's coordinates," Maya explained. "If we run home, we just lead them straight there. But if we press forward, we might find something we can use against them." "They fear us for a reason, Commander. Let's prove them right." As the Phoenix limped away from the disabled Armada, Maya couldn't help but wonder what they had just stumbled into. This wasn't just a territorial dispute. This was something far more significant. "Captain," Rivera called from communications, "I'm detecting a new signal. It's coming from within the collective fleet." "On screen," Maya ordered. The display flickered, but this time it didn't show one of the four-eyed beings. Instead, the face that appeared was unmistakably human. A man with weathered features and eyes that held a desperate intelligence. "This is Commander Jackson Wei of the UES Pathfinder," the man said, his voice breaking with emotion. "If you can hear this, you're not alone out here. The collective has been capturing human ships for years. They're studying us, trying to understand what makes us different." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. The Pathfinder had disappeared during a deep space survey mission 5 years ago. Everyone had assumed it was lost to an accident. "We don't have much time," Commander Wei continued. "Your disruption has temporarily freed us from their control, but it won't last. You need to know they fear humans, our unpredictability, our adaptability. That's why they've been taking us quietly, one ship at a time. But now they've decided we're too dangerous to allow to develop further." The transmission began to break up, Commander Wei's image fracturing with static. "Find the Nexus," were his final words before the screen went dark. The final reckoning. The bridge of the Phoenix fell into stunned silence. The implications of Commander Wei's message hung in the air like a physical presence. "The Pathfinder," Chen whispered. "They've been alive all this time." Maya's mind was already racing ahead. "Dr. Nakamura, what did he mean by the Nexus?" The scientist frowned. "I'm not certain, but given the context and what we've observed about the collective's technology, I suspect he may be referring to a central control hub, the core of their hive mind. How long before they recover from our pulse? Maya asked. Hard to say with certainty, Nakamura replied. Based on the degradation rate of the quantum disruption, perhaps 4 hours, maybe less. Maya nodded. Lieutenant Okafor, scan the Armada. Look for any vessel that stands out from the others. Different configuration, unique energy signature, anything unusual. Captain, Chen said quietly, stepping closer. What exactly are you planning? A jailbreak, Commander, Maya replied, her voice equally low. And possibly saving Earth in the process. Amara worked her console with fierce concentration. Captain, I'm detecting an anomalous structure near the center of the Armada. It doesn't match the configuration of the other vessels. It's spherical, approximately 3 kilometers in diameter, with energy readings that dwarf anything else in the fleet. That has to be it, Maya said. The Nexus. She turned to address the bridge crew. Here's what we know. The collective has been abducting human ships. They fear us because we represent something they can't predict or control. And right now, they're vulnerable. We have one shot at this, people. She moved to the tactical station. Show me the location of this sphere relative to our position and the disabled collective vessels. Chen brought up a 3-dimensional tactical display. The spherical structure floated near the center of the Armada, surrounded by layers of the diamond-shaped ships. We'll need to get past those outer vessels, Maya observed. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, status report on our engines. Conventional drives are at 73% capacity, Rodriguez reported over the comm. We've managed to reroute power through secondary systems, but the Nexus drive is completely offline. What about weapons? Standard defensive lasers are operational. Missile tubes 1 through 4 are functional, but we're limited to conventional warheads. Maya considered this. The Phoenix wasn't a warship. It was designed for exploration, with defensive capabilities meant for asteroid deflection and protection against space debris, not combat against an advanced alien armada. Commander Chen, I need options, she said. Chen studied the display. The collective vessels appear to be arranged in a defensive formation around the central sphere. Even disabled, they create a physical barrier. However, he pointed to a section of the display. There's a gap here where several ships have drifted from their original positions following our pulse. Could we navigate through? It would be tight, but possible with precision piloting, Chen confirmed. Maya nodded. Lieutenant Rivera, continue monitoring for any transmissions from the Pathfinder or other human vessels. They might have more information we can use. Captain, Amara called out. I'm detecting movement. 3 vessels on the perimeter of the Armada are showing signs of reactivation. They're recovering faster than we anticipated, Nakamura said gravely. Maya made her decision. Helm, set course for the gap Commander Chen identified. Full impulse power. The Phoenix surged forward, its conventional engines pushing to their limits as they approached the wall of disabled alien ships. The vessel shuddered as it maneuvered through the tight passage, massive collective ships looming on either side like sleeping giants. Distance to the central sphere? Maya asked. 20,000 kilometers in closing, Amara reported. Captain, I'm detecting energy fluctuations from the sphere. It appears to be the source of the reactivation signal being transmitted to the other vessels. Maya turned to Dr. Nakamura. If we destroy this sphere, this nexus, what happens to the rest of the collective? Without their central coordination node? Nakamura considered. Based on what we've observed, they would likely experience a catastrophic system failure. But Captain, we don't have the firepower to destroy something of that size. We might not need to destroy it, Maya replied. Just disrupt it enough to free the captured humans and retrieve whatever data we can about collective weaknesses. She turned to Chen. Commander, prepare a boarding party. We're going to infiltrate that sphere. Chen looked stunned. Captain, with all due respect. I know it's risky, Maya cut him off. But we need information, and we need to rescue our people. This may be our only chance. As they approached the massive sphere, its surface came into clearer view. Unlike the obsidian hulls of the other vessels, the Nexus was a pearlescent white, its surface covered in intricate patterns that shifted and changed as they watched. No obvious docking ports, Chen observed. Captain, Rivera called out. I'm receiving another transmission, same origin as before. Commander Wei's face appeared on screen again, though the image was significantly degraded. Phoenix, if you're receiving this, approach coordinates 227 Mark 035 on the Nexus surface. It's a maintenance access point with minimal security. We've been trying to reach it ourselves, but we're under heavy guard. There are over 200 human captives aboard this structure. The transmission cut out again. You heard the man, Maya said. Helm, adjust course to those coordinates. The Phoenix slowed as it approached the designated section of the sphere. Up close, the structure seemed even more massive, dwarfing their vessel completely. I'm detecting a seam in the hull at those coordinates, Amara reported. It appears to be some kind of access port, just as Commander Wei described. Can we dock with it? Maya asked. Rodriguez's voice came over the comm. Not conventionally, Captain. But I could modify one of our airlock adapters to create a temporary seal. It won't be pretty, but it should hold. Do it, Maya ordered. Commander Chen, assemble the boarding team. I want 6 security personnel and Dr. Nakamura. Captain. Nakamura looked up in surprise. We need someone who can understand their technology, Maya explained. And you're the best we've got. And you, Captain? Chen asked, already knowing the answer. I'll be leading the team, Maya confirmed. You have the bridge, Commander. 30 minutes later, Maya stood in the Phoenix's airlock with Dr. Nakamura and 6 security officers, all armed with the ship's limited supply of pulse rifles. The makeshift docking collar had been attached to the collective sphere, creating a tenuous connection between the two vessels. Remember, Maya addressed the team. Our objectives are to locate the human prisoners, gather any intelligence on collective weaknesses, and, if possible, disable their central systems. Stay together, communicate constantly, and be prepared for anything. The airlock cycled, and they stepped through into the alien structure. Unlike the utilitarian corridors of human vessels, the interior of the Nexus was a disorienting blend of organic and mechanical elements. The walls pulsed with the same fiber optic-like veins they had observed in the collective beings, and the floor seemed to shift slightly beneath their feet. Fascinating, Nakamura murmured, scanning the surroundings with his handheld device. The entire structure appears to be semi-organic. These conduits carry both data and nutrients. Which way to the prisoners? Maya asked. Nakamura consulted his scanner. I'm detecting a concentration of non-collective life, signs approximately 300 meters in that direction. He pointed down one of the branching corridors. They moved cautiously through the alien environment, encountering no resistance. The interior of the sphere seemed eerily deserted. Where are all the collective beings? One of the security officers whispered. Most likely concentrated in critical areas, Nakamura suggested. Or perhaps they don't need a physical presence here at all, given their level of integration with their technology. They finally reached a sealed doorway that blocked further progress down the corridor. Unlike the organic-looking walls, this barrier appeared to be made of solid metal. This is it, Nakamura confirmed. The human life signs are beyond this door. Maya examined the door, but found no obvious control mechanism. How do we get through? Before Nakamura could respond, the door silently slid open, revealing a human woman in a tattered uniform standing on the other side. Captain Katri, the woman said with obvious relief. I'm Lieutenant Sarah Novak, UES Pathfinder. Commander Wei sent me to guide you in. We don't have much time. She led them through the doorway into a large chamber. Inside were dozens of humans of various ages, all wearing the remnants of different Earth vessel uniforms. Some appeared injured, others malnourished, but all had the same haunted look in their eyes. Commander Wei stepped forward from the group. In person, he looked even more weathered than in the transmission, with deep lines etched into his face and a jagged scar running from his left temple to his jaw. "Captain," he greeted Maya with a firm handshake. "When we detected your quantum pulse, we couldn't believe it. No one's ever disrupted the collective's network before." "How many ships have they taken?" Maya asked. "7 that we know of," Wei replied grimly. "The earliest was the research vessel Galileo, 8 years ago. The collective has been studying us, trying to understand what makes humans different from other species they've encountered." "And what did they find?" Maya asked. Wei's expression hardened. "That we're dangerous. Most species they encounter are predictable, governed by strict biological imperatives or logical algorithms. But humans, we adapt, we improvise, we defy predictions. The collective can't compute us, and that terrifies them." "We need to get all of you out of here," Maya said, looking around at the gathered survivors. "But we also need to stop the collective from reaching Earth." We nodded. "We've been working on that. For years we've been learning their systems, mapping this station. We know how to cripple the Nexus, but we could never get to the central core." He gestured to Nakamura. "Your scientist has the right idea with that quantum pulse. If we can generate a similar disruption directly in the core, it would cause a cascading failure throughout the entire collective consciousness." "How long until the collective vessels fully reactivate?" Maya asked. "Less than an hour now," Wei replied. "They're already beginning to restore basic functions. We need to move quickly." Maya made a quick decision. "Dr. Nakamura, can you work with Commander Wei's people to create another quantum disruption device?" Nakamura nodded. "With their knowledge of the collective systems, yes." "Good. Lieutenant Novak, how far to this central core?" "About half a kilometer," Novak replied. "But the path is heavily guarded by automated defense systems." "Then we'll need a diversion," Maya said. She activated her communicator. "Phoenix, this is Captain Katri. We've located the human prisoners. Prepare for emergency evacuation of approximately 200 people." "Acknowledged, Captain," Chen's voice came through. "But we're detecting increased activity from several collective vessels. Our window is closing fast." Maya turned to Wei. "Commander, get your people ready to move. Security team, you'll escort the civilians back to the Phoenix. Dr. Nakamura, Commander Wei, and I will proceed to the central core." Wei looked at her with newfound respect. "It's a suicide mission, Captain." "Maybe," Maya acknowledged. "But if we don't stop them here, Earth doesn't stand a chance." The evacuation began immediately, with the security team guiding the former prisoners through the corridors toward the Phoenix. Meanwhile, Maya, Nakamura, and Wei, along with 2 volunteers from the Pathfinder crew, made their way deeper into the Nexus. The journey to the central core was treacherous. They encountered increasingly sophisticated defensive measures, shifting corridors, gravitational anomalies, and eventually, sentinel drones that resembled smaller versions of the collective beings themselves. "They're not fully autonomous," Wei explained as they took cover from the drone's energy weapons, "just extensions of the collective consciousness." Finally, they'd reached the central chamber, a vast spherical room dominated by a swirling vortex of energy suspended in its center. The walls were lined with countless fiber optic tendrils that converged on the vortex like a massive neural network. "The collective consciousness," Nakamura breathed, awestruck despite the circumstances. "Their entire shared intelligence, existing as a quantum energy state." We nodded grimly. "And the source of their control over their fleet." He produced a device they had assembled along the way, a crude adaptation of the Phoenix's quantum pulse technology, modified to interface with collective systems. "We'll need to place it directly into the vortex," he said. "The resulting disruption should create a 30-second window to escape before the cascade reaction begins." "Who's going to do that?" Maya asked, already knowing the answer. We met her gaze steadily. I've been a prisoner here for 5 years, Captain. Let me finish this." Before she could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the chamber. The vortex pulsed more intensely, and the walls seemed to ripple with increased activity. "They've detected us," one of the Pathfinder crew members said. "The collective is fully awakening." Wade didn't hesitate. He grabbed the device and turned to Maya. "Get back to your ship, Captain. Tell Earth what happened here. Tell them what's coming." "Commander," Maya began. "That's an order, Captain," Wei said with a sad smile. "Someone has to be the variable in their equation." With that, he turned and sprinted toward the vortex, device in hand. Energy beams from suddenly activated defenses lanced through the chamber, but Wei dodged with practiced precision. With a final, defiant shout, he hurled himself and the device into the heart of the swirling energy. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the vortex began to pulsate erratically, its color shifting from blue to angry red. "We need to leave. Now," Nakamura shouted over the increasing din. They ran back through the corridors, which were now shaking violently as the disruption spread throughout the Nexus. Behind them, the sounds of destruction grew louder. "Phoenix, prepare for immediate departure," Maya shouted into her communicator as they ran. They barely made it back to the airlock as the shaking intensified. The moment the last person was aboard, Maya ordered, "Disengage docking collar. Maximum thrust." The Phoenix tore away from the massive sphere just as energy began to erupt from its surface. Throughout the Armada, collective vessels were convulsing with the same disruptive energy, their perfect synchronization now working against them as the quantum cascade rippled outward. 100 kilometers in holding, Chen reported as they watched the spectacle unfold on the view screen. The Nexus sphere pulsed once, twice, then imploded with a silent flash of brilliance. The shockwave of quantum energy expanded outward, washing over each collective vessel in turn. Some went dark immediately, others spun helplessly out of formation, and a few simply disintegrated. "Is it over?" someone asked in the stunned silence that followed. Maya watched as the remnants of the once mighty Armada drifted aimlessly through space. "For now," she said quietly. "But there will be others, and we need to be ready." She turned to face the bridge crew and the rescued survivors. "Set course for Earth, maximum speed. We have a story to tell and preparations to make." As the Phoenix turned homeward, Maya thought about Commander Wei's sacrifice and the message they would carry back to Earth. Humanity had faced its first true test among the stars and proven exactly why they were an unacceptable variable in the cosmic equation. They were unpredictable. They were adaptable. And now, they were warned. The galaxy would never be the same again.